In this video, I'm going to share with you the ultimate marketing plan for business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers, and walk you through some of the most important marketing strategies and principles and fundamentals that you need to know in order to create the most effective and profitable marketing campaigns possible. First, I'll cover the 5 steps of the marketing master plan. This will help you craft a profitable marketing campaign from A to Z, and will make sure that you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people. Next, I'll share with you the right way to structure your marketing using a combination of both organic and paid methods in something I call free milk marketing, a strategy that works even if you're lactose intolerant. That's kind of a bad dad joke, but it'll all make sense in a minute. And after that, I'll break down and expose the single biggest marketing mistake that most business owners, entrepreneurs, marketers, and creators make that causes their marketing to fall short and just flat out fail. This mistake is dangerous and costly, and it's ruined more marketing campaigns, more businesses, and maybe even more lives than almost anything else out there. And I want better for you, so we're gonna make sure we get this solved once and for all. So with all that said, let's dive right in with the marketing master plan. The marketing master plan is made up of 5 strategic and sequential steps, each step building on the previous one in order to help you create winning and profitable campaigns with the highest chance of success possible. You see, marketing doesn't need to be a gamble or a risky all-in business move. In fact, that approach of just winging it and seeing what works is exactly why so many people get scared and stay away from marketing in the first place. They hear the horror stories about how their friend or colleague lost it all with a bad marketing agency, a bad advertising campaign, or bad billboard placement in the wrong part of town. And so they swear off marketing for good and go back to hoping and wishing that things will just magically and mysteriously get better. But as you probably already know, things don't tend to just get better on their own. You need a marketing intervention, which means making sure you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people at the right time. And this is why the first step of the marketing master plan is the model. The model is all about the what, as in what am I going to offer my target market? Or in other words, what are you selling? The key here is to define and clarify exactly what you do and make sure that you're choosing a core offer that will allow you to maximize both your profitability and your enjoyment. The fact is that not all products and not all services and not all offers are created equal. Some are simply more profitable, more desirable, easier to sell, and easier to deliver upon. Plus, marketing is one and done one offer at a time. You see, one of the worst things that you can do with your marketing is overwhelm people with way too many offers all at the same time. Hey there, can I interest you in some lit chat, baseball cap, pen that I have in black, pencil blue, here's a shoe, I've got some tape cause I'm out of glue, my soul's a mess and my brain is blue, trying to find something that I can't tell you, take another shot with a gas out, I gotta make those sales, gotta get that yacht. The big thing to remember here is that trying to sell too many things at the same time is a recipe for disaster. The fact is that confused customers don't buy, so keep your offer as clean and as clear and as simple and uncomplicated as possible. Okay, next up, market. The market is all about the who, as in who is my ideal customer avatar, my perfect target market, the kinds of people that are the best fit for what I have to sell. The fact is you can't sell to everyone, and the more clear and specific you are, the more desirable your offer and your messaging will be. So make a list of the traits and attributes that your best customers share, including demographic details like age and gender and income and occupation, geographic details like what city and state and province and country they live in, and psychographic details like their attitudes, their values, their beliefs, and their lifestyles. Then, once you've got that done, it's time to move on to the next step, the message. The message is all about the why, as in, why are they going to care? What problem is your offer actually solving? And why would someone want to work with you instead of your competitors? Now, if you've never thought of these before, these are pretty tough questions to answer. But fortunately for you, you've already done the hard work of identifying your model and your market. So now all you need to do is help to bridge the gap between them. First, you want to identify what I call their miracles and their miseries. Their miracles are all of their wants and their dreams and their desires and their goals and everything that they'd like to have and achieve. Their miseries, on the other hand, are all of their fears and their problems and their pains and their frustrations and all of the things that they're currently trying to get away from. Your offer's job, the model in this case, is to help move them away from all of their miseries to their miracles. And your message is how you communicate how you're going to do this. Okay, next up, media. Media is all about the where and the when, as in where is your target market present and active online and offline. What media type do they prefer and are you able to create, whether it's text or audio or video? And when and how often are you going to be creating and posting content, which is all about your content frequency and schedule. Most people mistakenly start here first. hearing about how TikTok is the place to be, or how Instagram Reels are getting an extra push from the algorithm, or how YouTube is perhaps the single greatest marketing opportunity of our time. And as true as these things are objectively, they may not be true, or at least they may not be the best fit for you, your business, and your audience. After all, as great as YouTube is, if the thought of creating long-form videos just totally freaks you out, then you're probably gonna wanna pass. Or if your business happens to serve an older demographic, then TikTok probably isn't the best place for you. Or if you serve primarily men, then you can probably safely ignore Pinterest. And if you serve an international audience, there's even more considerations to take into effect, as different social media platforms and networks are blocked or banned or severely limited in different countries around the world. The main point here is that you need to identify where your target market is present and active online, and then go there and ignore everything else. Now, of course, being in the right place, in front of the right people at the right time is a great place to start, but it's not enough to ensure a profitable marketing campaign. For that, you need a machine. So let me walk you through that next. The machine is all about the how, as in how will I guide my target market through the process to becoming a customer. In marketing, we call this a marketing funnel, or a sales funnel, or a customer journey. But whatever you call it, the process is the same. Mapping out each step that a customer needs to take to go from having no idea who you are, all the way through to becoming a lifelong and loyal customer for your business. As an example, a pretty typical digital marketing funnel looks something like this. First, someone hears about you through a piece of content, like a social media post, a blog, a video, or maybe even an ad. They then click it to learn more and are directed to a landing page where they're invited to enter their name and email address in order to download a free guide, a checklist, a cheat sheet, or something else of value. From there, you follow up with them through an email marketing campaign, emailing them anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week with more content and more value and more offers. Another big mistake that most people make in their marketing is thinking that once is enough. It's not. The fact is, depending on what business or market or industry you're in, the average is that it takes around 7 to 14 different touch points or interactions with your brand and with your business in order to get someone to make a purchase. So when it comes to repetition, more really is better. So next, let me walk you through a process to get more for less, using something I call free milk marketing. There's an old expression that says, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Which describes how when someone is able to get something for free, it's unlikely that they're gonna be willing to pay for it later. A good and family-friendly example of this is the newspaper industry, as most, if not all news, is now available online and for completely free. This is making it harder and harder for newspapers and other news sources to charge for access to their information. But sometimes free milk is sketchy milk. Now, I don't know about you, but if somebody showed up at my place and offered to give me free milk, I'd think twice before drinking it. I mean, I'm probably still gonna drink it. It's free milk after all. But I'd think twice. And this is just one example of how often you're better off paying for things, especially when other people are whining and complaining. Let me give you an example. Back in the day, Facebook was a marketer's dream. I'm talking about unlimited organic reach, Facebook business pages that allowed you to reach all of your followers, and being the newest and fastest growing name in town, it was also one of the best places to connect with your current and potential customers. But then things changed. Facebook introduced Facebook ads and rather quickly destroyed all of the reach that they'd just given away for free and replaced it with a pay-to-play model that required you to run and pay for advertising in order to get that very same content that you once shared for free in front of your followers. A lot of people got a lot of angry and swore off Facebook as a greedy, money-hungry entity hell-bent on destroying small businesses. But those who saw this as one of those rare once-in-a-lifetime opportunities capitalized on it, spent the few bucks that Facebook was asking for, and bought up all the inventory as fast as we could get our hands on it. And Facebook ads that once cost $1 to $2 per click were had for as little as 5 to 10 cents. And this is how things go with all platforms in all places. They start cheap and they progressively get more and more expensive as more and more people flood the platform and competition rises. This is why the best marketing strategies will almost always contain a solid mix of both organic and paid marketing. So let's start with organic. Organic marketing is anything that's posted for free. Think about an Instagram post, a story, a reel, a Facebook post, a YouTube video, a TikTok, anything like that. If you're not paying to promote it, it's organic content. Now that doesn't mean that it didn't take time and money and energy to create, it just means that you're not putting advertising dollars behind it in order to help get it in front of even more people. Organic content then shows up in the news feeds of people who follow you or other people that the algorithm thinks might be interested in it. Then there's paid marketing. Paid marketing is similar to organic marketing, except that you're going to put advertising dollars behind it in order to promote it and help get it in front of even more people. Paid marketing are things like Facebook ads and Instagram ads and LinkedIn ads and TikTok ads and YouTube ads and basically anything with the word ads in it. And paid ads show up in the news feeds and in front of the people that you actively select through targeting. This in turn gives you a little or a lot more control over who sees and who doesn't see your ads. Now, there are obviously pros and cons to both organic and paid marketing. Organic is of course free, but it takes more time. Paid is of course paid, but it allows you to reach a whole lot more people a whole lot faster. One thing you need to know though that can literally make or break your entire campaign, whether we're talking about organic or paid, is failing to understand the differences between brand awareness marketing and direct response marketing. To me as a marketer, misusing one of these two strategies is one of the surest and most telltale signs that a newbie marketer is about to get burned very, very badly. And like I said earlier, I want better for you. So let's make sure you never make this fatal marketing mistake again by taking a look at one of the most expensive marketing activities and events of all time, the Olympics. While being nominated and then selected as a host country for the Olympic Games is an international honor, it also comes with an almost unbelievably high price tag. In fact, hosting the Olympics is so expensive that the countries or cities that host the event often end up with a crippling level of debt in the tens of billions of dollars. The reason it costs so much is that the money is spent on building up various infrastructure projects and a ton of other related costs in order to create the environment for hosting the Olympic Games. Now, the downside is pretty obvious. All the stadiums and facilities and often the entire Olympic villages that are built for an international event that, once over, is usually left unused and decaying only a few years after the event. On the upside though, you can't ignore the power of the Olympic effect, which leads to more trade and business being done for the host country following the Olympics. They're essentially being given a worldwide stage to showcase their country's best qualities and cultural attraction, not to mention the prestige and status and attention that the host country benefits from during the games. But are those benefits worth the costs? Most would say, probably not. And this has led to many countries questioning whether hosting the games is a good investment or not. Like Norway, for example, who withdrew their bid for the 2022 Winter Games due to concerns that the cost would just be way too much. Because while the Olympic Games used to be hosted for a more reasonable number in the millions, these costs have skyrocketed over the past few decades to the billion-dollar levels we now see. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And many countries are starting to think that maybe there's a better use for that money. After all, what's the value of just getting your name out there? How much are status and prestige and attention really worth? And is there a better and more profitable alternative? And this is where brand awareness marketing versus direct response marketing really comes in. So let's unpack those both now. For the context of this video, brand awareness marketing is going to include pretty much anything that doesn't have a direct CTA or call to action. Now this could be any kind of organic content marketing like a social post or an email or a video or a podcast, or any kind of ad that doesn't directly ask someone to do something. The goal of brand awareness marketing is typically to make people aware of your brand. So it's encouraging things like engagement and comments and shares and other things that make you feel good, look good, but may or may not actually drive sales. Now, of course, you can and should include a call to action or CTA with every piece of content you put out there, even brand awareness marketing, but it's going to be harder to track because, again, we're probably going for things like engagement and shares and likes and comments and stuff like that. What brand awareness marketing is trying to do is reach more people and get in front of them and spread your message and spread your word and spread your brand. Direct response marketing, on the other hand, is all about getting that action and getting it as quickly as possible. It's about tracking and measuring how different platforms and channels related to specific customer acquisition. The direct response world is where you hear marketers talk about things like know your numbers and master your metrics, and all the analytics that go into it, including your cost per clicks, your cost per leads, your conversion rates, your click-through rates, and everything tied up to actually making a sale. With direct response marketing, you're typically a lot more actively engaged in measuring and monitoring all of your campaigns, especially if you're running advertising and actually putting dollars behind your marketing. Spending money on advertising without knowing what's working and what's not is pretty much just gambling. So tracking is important, measuring is important, and creating accountable marketing campaigns is important. But now that we've got the basics covered, it's time to dive into the tactics and the actionable steps that you can take to apply this directly to your business. This is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I've got linked up right here with 7 of my most effective marketing strategies, tips, and tricks. So make sure to check it out now, and I'll see you in the next video. Rod, you're boring and everybody just ignores you, and you sound like 99% of the other businesses and marketers out there saying the same things, like we offer higher quality and we offer better service and all of that stuff.